Veil of Ashes, Book 1, Chapter 6, Ember in the Crater. The chamber of iron aboard Kaarkon's dreadhall trembled with Draan's fury. The overseer stood before a burning hollow, the footage of the coastal checkpoint looping in grim detail. Civilians ran, soldiers fired, and then came the black-armored figure moving with inhuman grace. Sparks and broken machines littered the ground. Draan's generals knelt below the projection, their armor creaking as they bowed their heads. This, Draan snarled, his voice like steel scraping against stone, was not alliance. This was not Kaarkon. This, he gestured sharply as the Guardian cut through another droid. This is power. Power that answered to a child's cry. One general raised his eyes, hesitant. The sphere's pulse matched her vitals, overseer. Their telemetry proved it before they died. The child and the relic are bound. Ancient, yes, but the crest, it was unknown. None of our archives name it. Draan slammed his fist against the railing, the sound echoing like a hammer on an anvil. I do not care what its name is. Taconian, Orivane, or demon's toy, it matters nothing. What matters is this. It killed Kaarkon blood. It belongs to us, or it will burn with her in ash. The generals struck fists to their chests in grim salute, but unease lingered in their eyes. They did not know what the construct was, only that their empire had been humiliated, and their overseer's hunger for retribution burned hotter than iron. In the Alliance Council chamber, light fractured across crystalline walls as feeds from Earth played again and again. Delegates argued over the massacre, their voices colliding in a storm of accusation and fear. The construct strode across every screen, its blades severing machines, its armor glowing with bronze veins. Councillor Haru rose first, his young Uru symbiont frame pulsing faint metallic light. You have seen it yourselves. War machines unleashed in Sol itself, where no enemy ship should breathe. We must double fleets, triple them if need be. If we wait, we invite invasion. Councillor Ortega slammed his palm against his desk. We must ask the right question. Who sent the droids? Who smuggled war tech past every port and patrol? If we leap to fear and lock every street, we are already beaten. Jelani of the Antala leaned forward, her voice flowing like a river pressed through stone. Who else but Kaarkon would dare? Their empire waits for weakness, and weakness has come. Banwo of the Glasskin rose, beads on her robe clicking softly. Her translucent form glimmered with faint inner light. Accusations will not raise the dead. Mothers still scream over their children's bodies while we argue. Secure soul, yes, but do not blind yourselves. Proof, not paranoia, must rule. A grey-conquered elder finally spoke, his voice as precise and cold as frost. The construct bore markings older than any record in our archives. Some fragments call such things Taconian. Others call them relics of another forgotten empire. But myths are not evidence. We must not let legends distract us from blood. Focus on what we know. Someone unleashed droids inside Sol, and that someone still walks free. The speaker lifted both arms, lantern markings glowing bright. The council decrees, Sol remains under full lockdown. Orbital gates sealed, fleets doubled, investigation widened. Whoever sent those machines will answer. As for the construct, his tone deepened, heavy with caution. Taconian or not, we cannot yet say. Let myths wait. Let security rule. Murmurs rippled through the chamber, some sharp with dissent, others grim with agreement, but none dared oppose the speaker's ruling. Far from the crystal hall, in the shadows of the Shroud collective, whispers coiled like smoke around unseen figures. The rogue operative who had triggered the droids no longer lived. His body had been reduced to ash before the council could trace him. He broke the veil, one voice murmured. He revealed before the time was right. Another layered voice replied, silken and sharp. But he revealed truth. The crest burned on the construct's chest. Taconian. The guardian of the royals walked again. A third hissed low. Impossible. Taconia is dust beneath time, a myth to frighten children. The first voice grew colder. Not myth. The seal is real. The child carries it. We do not smash doors carved by emperors. We slip the lock. We take the key. Whispers overlapped. A chorus of veils sliding across one another. Yes, the key. The child. And the chamber fell silent. Every voice resolved to a single truth. Brute force had failed. Subtlety and abduction would be their new weapon. In a storeroom beneath the coastal settlement's dome, Mina sat with her back against cold stone, Sosan warm against her chest. The family who had taken them in moved with quiet purpose, not fear. They offered water, cloth for bandages, and a corner to rest without a single question. Their eyes did not shy from Mina or the wounded men. Instead, they turned often towards the shuttered door, straining at every echo of boots outside. The mother of the house pressed a cup into Ao's hands, her voice low but steady. "Drink, son. The soldiers have ears sharper than dogs. Keep your voices soft, but know this roof is yours tonight." Her husband nodded once, shoulders tense, a tool still in his grip as if he could beat back patrols with iron alone. "You are travellers, and travellers are guests. What walks outside is none of my business. What rests under my roof is my duty." Kofi blinked at them, stunned. He opened his mouth to protest, to warn them of the danger, but the woman laid a firm hand on his shoulder. "You think we do not know risk? We have hidden more than bread from taxes, more than songs from censors. Strangers are not strangers once they share your salt." Mina lowered her head in respect, her voice heavy with gratitude. "May the ancestors honour your house. We will not stay long." The man only shrugged, listening hard to the drone that hummed past the shutters. "Stay until you can move. The streets belong to them tonight, but in here, you are safe." Mina rocked Sosan gently, whispering against the child's hair as her companions rested. "They are afraid of you, little one. But I am not. I will carry you until you can carry yourself. And when that day comes, you will walk where none of us can follow." She closed her eyes briefly, hearing again the echo of bronze armour crushing machines, a dance of death too perfect for mortal hands. It had come when Sosan cried. It would come again. And that truth, terrible and wondrous both, was the only shield they had left. Life under Saul lockdown was a cage lined with banners of security. Patrols marched every street in the coastal settlement, drones sweeping the skies in endless arcs. Civilians queued for inspection at every corner, curfews pressed down like chains, and every conversation bent back toward the massacre. Mina moved through it like a shadow, head bowed, Sosan hidden close, each day a prayer that no soldier's gaze would linger too long. Ao shuffled beside her, his limp slowing them, though he tried to mask the pain with crooked jokes. "I swear the drones watch me not for contraband, but for how handsome I still look even bleeding. Jealous machines." Mina shot him a look that cut through the jest. "Machines don't care about your face. But if you speak too loudly, the guards will." Kofi muttered from behind, voice low and bitter. "The guards care about everything now. You can't breathe without them asking who taught you. This is not a settlement anymore. It is a cage built from questions." They reached the market square half empty and tense. Soldiers stalked the stalls, inspecting baskets, rifling through carts. The vendors spoke softly, eyes flicking toward uniforms before every word. Mina steered them to a corner where a woman sold herbs and strips of cloth. Io's breathing had worsened, his wound festered despite the bandages. They needed medicine, and the sphere could not cure fever. "Stay close," Mina whispered. She pressed coins into Io's palm. "Buy it quietly. Do not smile, do not joke, just buy." Io nodded. Though his crooked grin twitched, he shuffled toward the stall, leaning heavier on his cane than he liked. The vendor's eyes softened when she saw him, but before she could hand him the bundle of herbs, a soldier's voice rang sharp. "You! Papers!" Ayo froze. The coin nearly slipped from his hand. The soldier's gaze narrowed, scanning his bandaged side, his limp, his sweat. Mina felt her stomach turn to iron. One shout, one wrong word, and everything would collapse. But the vendor moved first. She lifted the herbs and snapped, "He's mine." Fell from scaffolding 2 days past. "You want the paperwork? Then you carry him to the yardmaster yourself and tell him why he can't finish his shift." The soldier hesitated, sneered, then moved on, muttering about lazy labour. Io exhaled so hard his knees nearly buckled. He shuffled back to Mina with the bundle, his grin trembling at the edges. "I told you," he whispered. "My face draws too much attention." Mina pressed the herbs to his chest with a glare. "Your face will draw your grave if you don't learn silence." That night, in the storeroom where the family sheltered them, Mina could not sleep. Patrols echoed outside, boots ringing on the cobbles, drones humming like flies circling a carcass. Sosan stirred restlessly in her arms, her tiny fingers brushing the cloth that concealed the sphere. The bronze glow pulsed faintly, a heartbeat in the dark. Then the vision took her. At first it was beauty. She stood on the balcony of an orbital shipyard above Africa, its towers gleaming, its docks alive with ships rising like silver birds. Before her walked Sosan, grown and radiant in the blue-grey uniform of a cadet, braid pinned with pride, eyes bright with wonder. The image shifted, Sosan older, standing at her console as an officer, giving commands in a voice that carried steady across the bridge. Officers saluted her with trust in their eyes. Another step forward, Sosan as a commander, shoulders straight, bearing the weight of responsibility without flinching. Then a captain, cloaked in light from the stars, standing tall at the heart of her ship. The galaxy stretched before her, and Mina's heart swelled with pride. But the light twisted, the stars bled into red, the bridge cracked into fire. Sosan's uniform was torn, her hands not on a console but wrapped around a blade. She fought hand-to-hand with alien figures, their forms shifting. Kaarkon warriors snarling, Shroud cloaks hissing, Orivane zealots chanting, swarm claws dripping. She struck each down, merciless, trained, her face streaked in blood. And beside her, the guardian construct fought again. Not the calm protector Mina had seen, but a storm of fury. It tore through enemies without mercy, black armor veined in bronze, blade rising and falling in an endless dance of slaughter. Every strike painted the ground in blood. Sosan stood at its side, drenched not in her own blood, but in that of her enemies. Her face was not afraid. It was resolute. Mina gasped, wanting to call her name, but the vision shifted once more. The battlefield vanished. In its place, a single ship drifted in the void. It was blacker than space itself, vast and terrible, its lines sharp yet alien, its presence radiating power that made even stars seem dim. It was no Alliance ship, no Kaarkon dreadnought. It was something older, something from a time beyond time, a weapon that could break fleets like dry branches. The image lingered, heavy as doom before dissolving into darkness. Mina woke with a cry, clutching Sosan tightly. The child stirred but did not wake, her small hand gripping Mina's tunic as if sensing her fear. Ayo stirred on his mat, muttering groggily, "Dream again?" Mina pressed her lips tight, unwilling to spill the horror into the room. "A dream," she whispered. Nothing more. But she knew it was not nothing. The sphere showed paths, beauty and nightmare bound together. Sosan's future was not peace. It was war, and somewhere in that war waited the black ship that could eclipse even hope. The dreadhall of Kaarkon burned with crimson light, its iron walls alive with banners of conquest. Overseer Draan stood before a towering hollow, the coastal settlement massacre playing in brutal repetition. Civilians cut down, droids exploding, and the black armoured construct, carving through the machines as though they were reeds in a storm. The generals knelt below, silent, their jaws tight. "You promised me results," Draan's voice thundered, echoing through the iron chamber. "You promised me the relic, the child, their silence. What I see instead," he gestured at the hollow as the Guardian drove its blade through another droid's chest, sparks raining like fire, "is shame. The infiltrator I sent, your infiltrator, disobeyed me and failed. Now the whole galaxy has seen the object fight, and Kaarkon is mocked." The generals bowed lower, but Draan's rage only grew sharper. When the annals are written, they will not say the Alliance failed. They will not say the Shroud failed. They will say Kaarkon failed. And that is a stain I will not wear. He raised his clawed hand and the heavy doors groaned open. Into the chamber stepped a woman clad in dark armour traced with faint, bioluminescent lines. Her eyes glowed faintly violet, and though her face was humanoid, there was something disquieting in the way her features seemed to ripple and settle as she walked. The generals stiffened, one sneered openly. "A tributary," he muttered. Draan's head snapped toward him, his voice cutting like a blade. "Not a tributary. A weapon." The woman stopped before the dais, bowed her head once and stood in silence. Draan extended his arm toward her. "Sha'kara Veylith of the Ve'akar. Do you know what she has done while you polished your armour and boasted of Kaarkon blood?" His voice grew sharper, every word a lash. "She led her unit at Tor Vallis, where the Orivane fortress held for 20 years. She infiltrated their defence grid, opened the gates, and the fortress burned in a night. She slit the throat of the hegemon lord of 3 colonies with her own hand while his guards still drew breath. She turned a human admiral's bodyguards against him, and he died choking on his own blood. She hunted the swarm and tore the chorus leader's head from its body, ending a hive before it could scream. The generals stared, some pale, some seething, but none dared speak. Draan's teeth bared in a feral grin. "Tell me, my warriors, have any of you done this?" "Number. You failed me in Sul. She will not." Sha'kara's lips curved into the faintest smile. She did not look at the generals, but they felt the insult as keenly as if she had. Her gaze never left Draan. "Your will is my breath," she said softly, her voice a whisper of steel. "I will not return without the object." Draan descended from his dais, his massive form looming close. He lowered his head until his eyes burned inches from hers. "Listen well, Sha'kara. There is no return without it. Bring me the object, or bring me ash. Fail me!" His voice dropped to a low growl, intimate and lethal. "And you will not return at all." Sha'kara bowed her head again, not in fear but in acceptance. "So it shall be." The overseer turned back to his generals. "Watch her, and know your shame. She will succeed where you failed, and when she brings me the relic, Kaarkon will rise while you polish your excuses." The generals saluted, their faces like stone but their eyes burned with hatred. Sha'kara only smiled again, faint and unreadable, as if their disdain fed her resolve. Elsewhere, the galaxy shifted uneasily. In the Orivane temple halls, mystics argued until their voices cracked. The construct was omen, one cried. "Taconian, surely." Another shouted back, "Not Taconian, not myth, only a weapon. Do not see gods where there are only blades." In the end, the hegemony remained divided, their scholars unsure whether to fear or worship what the feeds had shown. In the hidden shroud chambers, the voices whispered still. "The seal was real." "Taconia lives." Another voice hissed, "Not here, not yet." Patience. The child must be ours. Their plans shifted again, coils of shadow winding tighter around Earth. The swarm chorus drifting in their bioship shivered in hunger. Power. Old prey. Sharp prey. But even hunger could not drive them to act too soon. The massacre had raised every defense in Seoul, and now the hive would wait, circling like wolves outside firelight. In the settlement beneath the orbital shipyards, Mina gathered her companions. The herbs had steadied Ao's fever, but his strength was slow to return. Kofi's ribs were bruised, his spirit frayed. Yet both stood as Mina whispered the truth. "We cannot stay here. The net is closing. The soldiers smell fear, and soon they will smell us. We must keep moving." The family who had sheltered them pressed food into their hands, saying nothing of price. The father clasped Mina's arm, his eyes heavy with regret. "I am sorry we could not do more," he said softly. "Go with our prayers, and may the heavens watch over you all." Mina bowed deeply, gratitude in her eyes. "The ancestors will honor your house." They stepped into the night, the streets alive with patrols and drones, the city heavy with fear. Mina held Sosan close, feeling the faint hum of the sphere against her chest. The vision of the black ship lingered in her mind, a shadow she could not shake. She bent her head low, whispering to the child as the others followed. "They are afraid of you, little one." "But I am not. I will carry you until you can carry yourself. And when that day comes, you will walk paths none of us can follow." The street swallowed them, 3 shadows moving through the cage of Seoul, hunted by empires, guarded only by faith and a promise.